WGVE, but it is great to have you here on the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me make sure I get your mic on. That's how that works. All right. There
Good
you go.
morning. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Now, this is a very active time of the year, I've found out, where, people are kind of scrambling, getting their ducks lined up in a row. People don't just wait till the spring semester to get their college stuff. They're actually working on it now. And so you all have a College Goal Sunday coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the state of Indiana was the first state to start this initiative.
Yeah.
And that is a specific time set out to help students and families complete the FAFSA. What is the FAFSA? It's the free application for federal student aid.
Yeah.
And so across the state of Indiana, we set this time aside. That is November 6th, this Sunday, from 2 to 4 p.m. To help students and or their families complete the free application for federal student aid. We'll do that on our campus, Northwest, IU Northwest.
Now explain FAFSA for those people that are not really familiar with it, because a lot of times these words and these forms are, and I talked to you about this before, are intimidating. So kind of go back to the basics and explain what this is.
Okay. So, when you're dealing with the government and you want money from the government for any reason, they want information from you. Okay? So that's what the free application for federal student aid is.
Mm-hmm.
It is a form that collects different information, general information, your name, social, birthday. What high school did you go to? When do you plan to complete high school?
Now, do your parents need to be involved in this?
And so it asks you a series of questions to determine if they need to include parents or not. So generally, high school students will need to include parents because they're not of that age of 24. Generally, they're not married. They're not veterans.
Now, why 24? I've never really got an answer to that, because you can go to the military, you can do so many other things at 18, but why 24 for this?
For the FAFSA, that is an excellent question.
Yeah.
From the federal government point of view, your parents are responsible for educating you. Not just until you get to high school, or college as well.
Right.
And so,
is this
that's
a financial?
Why they use 24. Well, they also use 24 for insurance now. They changed the age to where you can be on your parents' insurance.
Wow.
Until that too. So to me, that's correlated.
Yes.
But for FAFSA purposes, it's always been 24.
Yeah,
the age of 24.
That's just amazing to me. Like I said, you can go to the military at 18 and things like that, but they want you to be 24. So, and so on Sunday, as you said, you are offering some advice or service once again. Give me the times where this is going to take place. What is it, 2 o'clock?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll be at the IU Northwest campus.
Right.
And Hawthorne Hall.
Yes.
Room 454. That's actually a computer lab.
Nice.
Because you need computer to submit the FAFSA electronically.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the government website, studentaid.gov.
Yes.
Right? And we'll help students file that FAFSA. And so you'll have a financial aid expert there with you and your family to complete the process.
Now, I want, you and I talked the last time you were on, because I do believe it was kind of right after the president signed that executive order as it related to student loan debt. I know that it has been challenged and kind of got frozen right now. What are you hearing? Because this is your wheelhouse, so I'm asking the right person. What are you hearing?
And this is what I'm hearing. Complete that form. So when you go to studentaid.gov, you will. The first thing on there is student debt relief.
Yes.
Click the button. I actually helped a colleague of mine that actually works at Ivy Tech.
Yeah.
I was over there at Ivy Tech for another reason yesterday, and we got into this subject, and she was like, "I don't think I qualify." Girl, complete the application.
Now, what did they ask you?
All they want is your name and social security number.
That's
Pretty
it?
much, yes. It takes 2 minutes to complete that application for you to receive student debt relief. So is it in court now? Of course, Republicans are trying to put a stop to it.
Right.
And frankly, there's precedence to the president being able to do this.
Yeah.
So all they're doing is delaying it.
Yeah, because they're saying he didn't go through Congress.
Correct.
And that this would have it's not a law.
And President Trump never went through Congress when he stopped the student loan payment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so that's precedent.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, all they're doing is delaying the process. But in the meantime,
Gina's
regular consumers
Yes.
can go in and put the application in.
Yeah.
And so when it's time to click the button to say we're going to relieve debt for $10,000 or $20,000, you will have your application in there to be processed.
Now, I want to ask you another thing, because I was kind of musing about it this morning, kind of anticipating you coming on. And I started to really kind of digest all the things I've heard, not just from you, Dr. Frink, and the other gentleman that came on with her the last time. And it's kind of amazing. And I know my parents right now are looking down upon me, shaking their fingers, because I was so ignorant to this stuff when I was going to college. But you can almost nowadays, correct me if I'm wrong, basically go to a 4-year university, literally almost pay nothing, and then find a way to even get some money put in your pocket through a stipend. Explain that. Is that true?
Yes, we have hundreds of students. People just don't know. We have hundreds of students that come to IUN
that pay
every year. That pay nothing out of pocket.
Wow!
And in fact, receive a refund back.
Yeah.
This is a good segue into our state of Indiana. To be honest with you,
yes,
the state of Indiana allocate funds for financial aid every year.
Yes.
Okay. They never spend all of the money that's allocated.
Right.
It's an appropriation. It's called an appropriation.
Yeah.
And they allocate funds for higher ed every year to pay for college.
Right.
In the form of what's called 21st Century Scholarship.
Yes.
In the form of Frank O'Bannon Grant. In the form of Mitch Daniels Grant. In the form of Minority Teacher Scholarship.
Yeah.
They allocate money every year and they never spend all the money.
Wow.
And so they recently had a meeting. This is the state of Indiana, the commissioners, the CFO of the state of Indiana, and say, we have to spend more money. So last year I came on here and said, you have to file this FAFSA by April 15th. If you don't, you're going to miss out on money from the state.
Yeah.
So I came on here on April 14th, I believe it was, and say, hey, you got to file it by April 15th. You're going to miss out money from the state. Well, because so many students had not filed the FAFSA and they weren't going to spend all the money, they extended the deadline.
See?
Because they want to spend the money.
Yes.
They have the money to spend for you to go to college.
Yes.
They want to spend the money.
Yeah.
So they extended the deadline. You could almost have filed your FAFSA by June and still receive money from the state of Indiana because they had that kind of money left on the table. So recently they had a meeting and said, we have to begin to spend all this money. What can we do to spend all the money? Well, they're increasing the money they're giving.
Of course. See,
So, the deadline is still April 15th, but they're going to increase the money that they give out, and to private schools as well.
See?
So, Indiana University is a state school.
Yeah.
Our tuition rate is lower because we get help from the state of Indiana. Well, there are private schools out there that may be better suited for students. They're increasing allotments to them for tuition and fees at private colleges as well. And I tell you often, as a financial aid profession, while I'm here representing IU Northwest, I am a financial aid professional first.
Period.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I want to help any student get that level of education that's going to help them change their lives.
Even students who have been out of college want to go back.
Want to go back to college. They have adult student grant from the state of Indiana. It's so many resources or money resources out there from the state of Indiana. They also do a lot of data related to who's going to college and who's not going.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the rate that's declining the worst is our black males.
Absolutely.
And so, but the money is out there to help them. It's just, is this what you want to do?
Right. It's the interest.
See yourself doing? Do you think you can do it? Please don't let money be an objection to that, or the current state you're in to deter you from at least trying. And so I just encourage students to try. Just submit the application. Apply to the college. Apply with financial aid. Put it together and let's see what happens.
You know what? You kind of reaffirmed something that I've talked about on this show and even some of the previous shows as it relates to Indiana. And I actually heard Governor Holcomb, he's about to speak at the World Economic Forum on behalf of the state. But this is what I've always loved about Indiana, is that you have certain states in this country, in the union, that I consider great sales because they're smart states. You got your California, you have New York State, Virginia in particular, and these are states that have universities. Mm-hmm. And what happens when you have states that have universities? I mean, look at Indiana. Forget it. I mean, you got Wabash, you got Indiana, Purdue, Notre Dame, and then all these other, Ball State. These universities attract people from all over the world, and a lot of people stay in their university state. And so we have a great, smart workforce. And I think that what you just kind of said is that the state has paid attention to that, and that's why they're making constant investment in higher education, because it is a magnet for the kind of talent that we have living here. So I think what you just said reaffirmed that.
Well, according to the state, we're number 14 of the states that attract students.
Absolutely.
We get students from everywhere across
Bloomington
the United
is
States.
a world-renowned.
Bloomington is world-renowned. Notre Dame.
Yes. Oh,
Butler.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Wabash. Yeah.
All of them. And so we're number 14 in attracting, but we're number 40 in retaining.
Yeah.
And so we attract and educate them, but they then leave.
Yeah. If they don't go to Indianapolis or hang around there, they go back where they came from. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Well, why is that, though?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because the state of Indiana don't pay either, which is why we have so much money in our coffers. Like, that's why we were able to get refund checks, you know, because I paid too much in taxes last year, so you sent me and my husband $325 each.
Exactly, exactly.
You know, they know how to hold on to their money.
Oh,
in
well,
their
yeah.
coffers. You know, and they have money in the coffers, and they'll send you things out and say, what should we do with this extra money in the coffers?
They got like $4 billion.
What I always tell them, pay our teachers more.
Yes.
We need, you know, good teachers in the state of Indiana, K through 12, pay the teachers more, but that's not what they choose to do with their money.
Look.
And so that's, yeah, okay.
There's more to you than financial aid.
Absolutely, sir. Yes, sir. Don't get me started. Get me off that soapbox.
Exactly. I'm going to get you out of
back to financial aid.
Okay. No, I like that soapbox just for a little. That's what we do. We like to poke on this show. But anyway, we're talking about the College Goal. I want to make sure that we get the information out there, though, about College Goal Sunday, because this is very important. It's an opportunity, as you say, fill out your FAFSA. And, you know, if you need help, it's going to be in the computer lab. And so if you're not computer literate or things like that, somebody will be there to help you, correct?
Absolutely. And it's just so important for you to apply first.
Yeah.
Because those who apply first are the ones that get access to the money.
Yeah.
Because these colleges have budgets. And so if they're using that FAFSA information to award you money, once the money is gone, you're out of the applicant pool. Like, okay, you applied, but you applied late, and so you missed out on dollars. And so what's also important for Indiana University Northwest is for you to get hold of that money, you have to be admitted to the college by December 1st.
Right, right.
Okay,
yeah.
December 1st is the deadline to be admitted.
See, that's one thing we don't appreciate in our community specifically. It's not the only one, but we don't really appreciate deadlines. You know, we like to kind of show up the day of or the day after time, but I didn't know. I could still, so I want you to emphasize that.
Last minute folks.
Yeah, thank you. You said it. You still on that soapbox, aren't you? You got 1 foot on it.
We can be some last minute folks.
Yes.
And I implore individuals not to be that when it comes to money.
Right.
The money is out here, it's available, but they have rules. It's things you have to do.
Yeah.
So just like we're telling you to complete the FAFSA, well, why do I have to complete the FAFSA?
Yeah.
Well, that is you signaling the federal government, the state government, the institution, that you want help with your financing your education. And so if you don't tell these entities that you need help, you won't receive the help that is out there for you. But you have to put the application in.
Now let me ask you this, because I don't think this gets talked about enough. We've got a lot of men and women out here who have already gotten their 4-year degrees and are looking at doing graduate work or even some postgraduate work, working on doctorates and things like that. You are the queen of financial aid. Explain those financial opportunities when it comes to that kind of level.
Well, I wish I had better news for those.
You're stuck. Pay for it yourself. Go to work.
Unfortunately, the federal government helps you get that first bachelor's degree. And once they do that,
you're on your own.
Anything outside of that, exactly. So sometimes you come and get your first bachelor's degree in whatever your parents told you to do. And that's not what you want.
Right.
So we have so many students coming back to IU Northwest, perhaps getting a second degree in nursing.
So you can get a second bachelor's. Absolutely. They're just not going to help you get a graduate. They don't want you to get too smart.
Or a graduate degree.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, though, that funding is via loan.
Yeah.
Not necessarily grants, scholarships, or free money.
Okay.
But even to get...
The government reveals itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even to get a federally backed student loan,
yes.
the better student loans, you have to file a FAFSA.
Yeah.
That's considered financial aid as well.
Right.
And so it's still important for you to complete that process.
That's just interesting to me. Because if you got your grades, your ducks in a row and things like that, unless you get, like if you're going to med school, getting your MBA, going to law school, the federal government kind of like, yeah, well, this is kind of on you right now. Go take a loan out in your name.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct. That's how that goes. That's how we all had to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Including myself.
No, because you went and got your graduate in what?
MBA.
Oh my God.
MBA, specializing in accounting.
Wow. Wow. I'm getting off topic right here. You never wanted to be an accountant or anything like that? Work down there on the street?
Well, I could.
I know you could.
But I really think I found my calling in helping students. I understand.
How did you fall into this? Because that's crazy.
Fell into it, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Fell into it. I was at Calumet College of St. Joseph.
Yeah.
This was almost 20 years ago. And I really was in accounts payable.
Right.
You know, financing and stuff was my thing, and they really needed help in financial aid. They had a lot of turnover.
I think
in
you
that
told me this. Yeah,
department.
yeah.
Right, and I went to the department of help, and I fell in love with it because, for one, it was directly helping the student.
Right.
And you had access to students, but then I learned so much about the state of Indiana and the money I'm telling you about now.
Right.
Like, I didn't really know the ins and outs of that when I went to college.
Right.
I didn't learn about that until I got into financial aid as a profession.
Right.
And from there, I saw how having a degree changed the trajectory of my life.
Right.
It changed the course of my life.
Right.
I'm a first-generation college student. My mother never had a formal education.
Yeah.
My sister did go to college, but my brothers did not. It's four of us.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the four of them, I was the only one to attain a bachelor's degree and then go ahead and get a master's degree.
Right.
But I saw how it changed the course of my life for my children.
Yes.
Right? I have a 30-year-old and a 13-year-old.
No way.
Absolutely.
No way.
Yeah, 30-year-old and a 13-year-old. And my 30-year-old went to IUPUI.
Yeah.
And she makes a great living for herself
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And I helped her through that process to take out minimal loans.
Right.
Because there was scholarship monies out there for her. Now, we didn't have need-based aid, but there was outside scholarships that I knew she wouldn't be able to get need-based financial aid. Which is federal, Pell Grant, and state aid, and all of that. I knew she wouldn't get that, so I looked for outside scholarships for her, and that was a job in and of itself. But a lot of people aren't willing to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I think that's important.
Yes.
Like, that is important. I'm willing to do the research. You should be willing to do the research. If there's sources out there that's willing to fund your child
right.
To go to college.
Now, listen, we'll talk after, because you just walked into Uncle Jeff's camp. But, I mean, have you ever thought about writing a book or going out here speaking on this? Because, for instance, I don't know if it was about 7 years ago, I had a young lady on one of my shows. She was an author, and she wrote a book about how to go to college for free. And she was a very smart lady. I'm not at all taking anything away from her. But it was not at all detailed like this. And I think what you're just displaying right now, the MBA is just the icing on the cake. But, I mean, I think you've done a lot of the homework yourself. I mean, I'm not demeaning the degree, but I think it's a lot to your intelligence that you've been able to do that. And I would just suggest is that I think that there are so many people. I've never met a financial aid person like you have just kind of. It seems like you've just kind of gone off the page. You're like a social worker. You already said what attracted you to that because you were an MBA accountant. Mm-hmm. And so you could have easily gone to a firm. You could have started your own little shingle and done that, but you kind of got caught up into that interaction with young scholars and really helping them and seeing their faces when they find that money. And it's just not, I mean, obviously not just in the black community, just period. I don't think a lot of people know how to navigate it. It's very intimidating. When you think about applying for financial aid, I hear it all the time. I've had nieces that are going to college, they've been to college, they're sending their kids to college, and that is the part that really stresses people out.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. That's humbling.
Yeah, it's the truth, yes.
To say the least. Once you find your purpose, this is how you get once you get into your purpose. And so I am in my purpose.
Yes.
And so I'm passionate about it, and I'm hard on others who work in the environment and they're not passionate about it. Like, you have to be willing to help students and want to see that for them.
Because I've met, without calling anybody out, and it's not even in this state, but I think all of us, through our experiences in school, you've met that financial aid person or whatever that's just kind of like, you better come to me. I'm not, and ask the right questions. Other than that, I'm not showing you where the money is. You seem like you'll track me down at home and knock on my door and be like, hey.
And I have. Yes, sir. Absolutely, I will. And I have.
Yeah.
Students, you email them and they don't respond, I go and find that personal phone number and say, I emailed you. Did you get my email? Right. I need this from you so you can get this money.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Absolutely. You do what you can, to help individuals, especially individuals that seem to want to help themselves.
Right, right.
If they're a good student, trying to get good grades, and
They're putting the work
yeah,
in, but they're just worried about that money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that being very rewarding. Once again, listen, you got to keep coming back. But once again, give us the logistics about Sunday before we get out of here. Of course, this is over at what building?
So we're at Indiana University Northwest,
yes.
3400 Broadway, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
We're in Hawthorne Hall, room 454, which is a computer lab.
Yeah.
We also reserved another computer lab in case we have overflow. We're hoping for overflow.
Absolutely.
We're hoping as many people that can come out from 2 to 4 on Sunday will come so we can assist them with submitting the FAFSA.
Yeah, leave something because I know that they want them over in that building. I'm going to make sure that they get that. Also, one of the things that I think is interesting, going back to your talent, is that you said it's not just, listen, you do work for IUN, of course, but you can help anybody else navigate because this is about FAFSA.
Yeah, with anything. In fact, I knew we had gotten information first.
Yes.
As an employee at IU, we have a real tight relationship with the people at the state.
Yeah.
And
they like you better than Purdue.
They like IU as a system.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
has a good relationship with the state, and they sent us some information about the increases in what they were going to give for next year. And I immediately forwarded that to some colleagues that I knew didn't have the information.
Right.
So they can get that out as they needed to. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
It's about really helping students, but advocating for IU at the same time. But at my core, I want to help students, period. Yeah,
let's hope Ms. Daniels doesn't get back, because then the Purdue's going to get the information first.
Don't do that.
Oh, Gina, this has been a pleasure, absolutely. And I think I always learn so much when you come, and I'm dead serious. I think that you do a service to this community. I'm just hoping that people take advantage of it. As you said, you want overflow. There's another room opening. And as I said, also call your office, because you can offer advice and even guidance on people that might be going other places, Ivy Tech or what have you. Give us the phone number to your office.
So to call IU Northwest Office of Financial Aid, we're there 8 to 5, Monday through Thursday, and 8 to 4 on Friday.
8 to 5?
8 to 5.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Okay, we'll talk.
Okay. 219-980-6778. More than likely you will get Maria, who also is bilingual. She speaks Spanish for our Latino partners.
Yes.
And so feel free to give us a call about anything. We'll be able to help you with it.
Well, Gina, I appreciate it. Once again, thank you very much. This was awesome. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get ready to wrap it up. This has been a good show. I want to definitely give a shout-out to C-Wit and, of course, Krista, as always, for taking care of things behind the scenes. We appreciate them very much. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get our last look outside at weather and traffic and take it to the top. You're listening to Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith right here on 88.7 FM, WGVE.
New #1 morning show.